Oh, oh, we say hallelujah to perform in front of a mirror.
Breakout gospel artist David Sutton.
Hi Sparkers, welcome to Dun-Hamz Spark. I am Mishy Spark. We hope that you have been sparking beautifully every day in every week. Chilling in our Spark chair is a young, vibrant and talented gospel recording artist who was a finalist in the 2020 JCDC Gospel Festival song. He is an ardent member of the Power of Faith Ministries in Goshen, St. Elizabeth, where he serves as a praise and worship leader and a musician. He is also a pastor's child, as both his parents, Bishop Denroy Sutton and Reverend Charmaine Sutton, are ordained pastors of the Power of Faith Ministries. This very noble young man is a Monronian who boldly served the Christian fraternity whilst he was there. He is now currently a student of the University of the West Indies. We welcome to the Spark Chair now an exuberant ambassador for Christ, David Sutton. David, a sparkly welcome to you.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. And Sparkers, as we welcome David, if you have not subscribed as yet, please go and hit that subscribe button. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. So David, I would say that you are the gospel artist breakout of last year. Yes, many of us didn't know that side of you.
Okay.
Yes, we pretty much know you as a keysy and a drummer. I remember coming down here at church, and from you were so young, you were on the drums or the keys, and I was so amazed. So tell us, David, about that journey and how did you discover the artist in you?
Well, in my head, I'm imagining some of my musician friends laughing when I say drummer, because I wouldn't class myself as much of a drummer. But yes, I did start playing drums.
Yes.
In church, and throughout as time went on, I discovered that I can play keyboard as well. I always saw people playing it, and I always wanted somebody to teach me. But then I decided, the keyboard is at my disposal every day, so just went down there and allow the Lord to like show me like some little things like just pam pam pam, and from there on, YouTube, and I have also had some mentors that show me how to play. So I really classify myself more as a musician. Singer was never really never really in it. In my family, I class my sister as a singer, like Yannick Sutton, you know her?
Yes.
And
she's a beautiful singer.
Yes, beautiful singer, praise and worship leader. She really inspired me because I always see her doing praise and worship, and and I was also other members of the team, of course. But like seeing them Sunday after Sunday, and they're just going after the presence of the Lord and singing. And my personal inspiration is my sister, just because she's so powerful at that. And I remember I just decided that, I'm going to be a praise and worship leader. So I went to, at the time, it was Sister Marvina. She was the head of the praise and worship department at the church. I think that was about 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So, and I said, I want to start singing praise and worship. And then she's like, okay. And I've led a couple church songs, so I led a couple choir songs, but and it's not like and because I'm this big singer, it's just that they wanted somebody to lead the song, and then they said, David, you do the song. So mostly I'm a musician, so I just said, I want to be a praise and worship leader. So she said, all right, you can sing on the team. And from there, singing on the team, and starting to lead more frequently, and then I just got into the whole vibe of being a leader, and it's really just following after the footsteps of the leaders that came before.
Wow, awesome. Self-taught keyboardist? Wow, that's awesome. You are an amazing songwriter. We see this in your songs. Kevin Downsell, I remember watching JCDC festival, the final, and Kevin Downswell had to ask you who wrote your song and how old are you? I mean, your song, your entry in the JCDC, This Is Our Response, is a really catchy yet powerful message, and the response from Jamaica was positive. Where do you get the inspiration to write? Tell us what's the writing process like for you.
Alright, so although I started playing keyboard like at 13 or so, to be honest, I always express myself in writing from a young age. I guess it's just how God wired me. So if there was a big emotional moment or a small emotion, like I feel down, I'd write a song about it, make a joke. I will remember when I was in prep school, I went to the Santa Cruz Preparatory School, right? You know, like little things, like there was this girl I thought was cute, and I wrote like 2 songs for her, throughout my time there, never sung it to her. And never sung it to anybody, but I wrote the songs. And whenever I feel down, I write songs, and I guess that I just always been writing and learning to play the keyboard, because I was self-taught. You know, I mean, I even wrote songs while I didn't really understand like C major, whatever, and then I come up with ideas for that. In terms of you were saying that the song is catchy and stuff like that. What I love to do with my songs is that, because number one, I want to express myself, but at the same time, I want them to be, other people can express themselves with it too. So what I do with it when I'm writing my songs is like, I think to myself, somebody who just heard this song, can they learn it if you sing it 2 times? If you sing just the chorus, if you sing the chorus 2 times, can they catch it? If they can't catch it, then roll up that idea there and throw it away and think again. So that was definitely what I did for like Our Response, and so many others that aren't out yet.
And we hope to hear them soon.
yes, but they're just my expressions to God, and I really try to make sure that I'm trying to be a voice for persons that want to express themselves to God as well, and just want a way to do it, and I just hope that my songs can do that for them as well.
Wow. So this is Our Response. Finish it for the man, you a piece of it.
Oh, we say hallelujah. This is our response. Oh, we say hallelujah for all you've done and all you've been, all the love you've shown me. It's amazing. And this is our response. Oh, we say hallelujah.
This is our response. I know you are inspired by God naturally, and of course, Yanni could have been a mentor and a source of inspiration to you.
Yeah.
But is there anyone else who inspires you or encourages you to keep along the path, whether in music or otherwise?
Well, my parents are the most incredible supportive parents anyone can ever ask for. My mother and my father, because when your child says, I want to be an artist, that
Like they will say, artist, why not something else?
Dr. Lion, something like that, and I think in some way, like at first there was a kind of like, but after a while they realized that, I'm serious about this, and and they really do support. They give time and effort and money for me to go and do my recordings and to go to practices, rehearsals, stuff like that. I saw it, especially when I was in JCDC. I mean, the amount of support was incredible, and my mother and my father, they always sit me down and talk to me, and my father is tried manager sometimes, like giving me like the business advice, and and my mother's there giving me the emotional support, like when she realized that I might be feeling down or something, like she comes and talks to me, and even if it's about like my music, I feel down about my music sometimes, and she comes and she says, hey, you got something good going on. So I mean, it's incredible to have them in my life. other than that, my friends, I have this band now that I'm working with called the Russian Wind Band that we just started last year actually, like late last year. But these are a group of incredible young men that understand where I'm coming from. And the thing is that, it's not like I'm like the leader and they learn from me. I like it's like a group, like they can argue with me things about music, argue with me things about God, things about the word. They are up there and they're like, so we're learning from each other, and like just being in that group, being in the Russian Wind, like the support is amazing. And I also have several other spiritual leaders, Pastor Brian here in the church, and so like this church is just incredible. They're always somebody that's encouraging, always somebody that's motivating.
Wow, such an inspirational story. You are such an inspiration to so many young and talented persons out there, not just in the world of music, but for those young talented persons out in life, seeking to get a start. You are truly an inspiration. What would you say is the most fulfilling part of your journey or lesson that you have learned while you established your music career over the last year?
So, my biggest lesson that I've learned, I got the opportunity recently to assist as a worship leader in a recording for a church called Zeal Church in Kingston, and it's like such a great opportunity because like they had this big recording at Big Yard Studio, and that's like a renowned studio. And like I remember when I got a call, I was so excited. I'm like, I was wondering if I was ready, if like everybody why me, that kind of vibe. When I got there though, I was wondering like, God, am I really ready? Am I really ready to do something like this? And then when I got there, I remembered something that a pastor said to me. She said, "Don't stop practicing when no one's watching." And I took that to heart. Like she said it it was very serious. She's Shanika Sutton, not related to me, but she told me.
For some reason I thought you guys were related.
No, we're not related. But she came to our church, to our service one day and said, "Keep practicing when no one's watching." And I'm like, okay. So what I actually do is I practice in the mirror with like roller and anything that look like a mic. I'm there. Yeah. I'm in a joke with it. We put on jacket, everything.
I love it.
Yes, everything. So when I got there, and I was still wondering if I was ready. When I stepped into the studio, it was powerful for me because no one was in there except the person that was singing on the stage. And what was in front of the stage was the biggest mirror you can imagine. Wow. Like this giant mirror so I think they did this so anybody on the stage can see how they look for the recording. And when I saw it, I got this revelation that whatever you are supposed to do, and you might be doing some things that you think are insignificant, that's God training you. God is training you to do what He has called you to do. And you might not think it's significant, but even in the small things, just little things, that just take everything as a lesson. Take everything in life as a lesson. Because I've been practicing how to perform in front of a mirror, and I had to perform in front of, and I thought I was practicing to perform in a crowd, but no, that's not what it was. I was training, God said, I was training you to perform in front of a mirror. so it was just incredible. And not just that, this is COVID time, and I get invited to do a lot of things, a lot of recordings, a lot of things. And the funny thing is, there's nobody in the room. Wow. There is nobody in the room.
So God was setting you
God was setting me up for something. So because I remember, like as you said, like for JCDC final competition, there was no one in the room, and people were saying, and I remember I got calls from people on the radio like, "David, you're jumping around and you're dancing like that." Who was in the room? There was nobody in the room other than the camera crew. So it's just incredible. Wow, just everything is a lesson. just take everything as a lesson, and that just let God teach you what He's teaching you.
Wow, that's beautiful. David, you are such an inspiration, and I keep on saying it because I felt teary-eyed just a while ago to see such a young servant of God, and you are so packed with knowledge, and I feel the Holy Spirit as you speak, and may God just continue to bless you, Sparkles, it just goes to show, as David said, what Minister Sutton said to him, keep practicing when no one's watching. Look at this. He got his big opportunity just as how he practiced every day. David, you are a young ambassador for Christ. What encouragement would you give to some young people who would say that they want to come into Christendom, but they're claiming that it's boring? What would you and how would you encourage them?
Listen to me. Boring. I've been living my whole life in church, and do I see boring? I don't think I'm boring. I don't think I'm a boring person. There's nothing about God that's boring. It's just your perspective. I use this analogy when I think about that. Like, when somebody's in prison, right? You really feel free because, like, you're in a jail cell, right? And you feel like you can do anything you want. Like, while you're inside that cell, and like you can move your hands, right. You can move free as you want, And so when people come and tell you you're bound, you don't believe them because I'm moving my hands, I'm walking around. But being really truly free, it's not a question of what you're able to do, but rather where you're able to go. So you feel like you're free, but if somebody's standing on the outside of the cell and say, come here, I want to give you $1 million. You can't. You feel free because you can move around and do whatever you feel like, but you can't pass that gate. Right. You can't leave. So that's what sin is like. That's what it feels free. It feels like you can do whatever, and you can do whatever you want. But when God is calling you for something more, you can't leave that. You can't leave. It's like, it's not a question of what you're able to do, but where you're able to go. So God is calling you to purpose. God is calling you to be all that He created you to be. But you can't move from there because you feel free, but you're really bound. You just can't tell. But God offers the key. God offers the key through Jesus, through His Son, to just release you. So you can, because there is grace. There is so much grace, and there is real freedom, real liberty. Now, instead of doing whatever you want to do, it's now walking to get somewhere else, to get to a higher place. So, yeah, that's what I'd say. It's, you feel free, but you're not really free because it's not about what you're able to do, but where you're able to go. And God is calling, God is calling you to go to somewhere else, a higher place.
That's right. No boredom in Christendom. No. Outside of music and church, what do you do for fun?
I love moving.
You love moving.
Love moving. Like, people try to get me in a game. Like, I have a couple friends who try to get me in a game like Xbox and
you're a movie person.
like when we don't want to work my brain. We just want
relax.
Sit down. Like the whole Marvel movie, them, like Avengers, all of that. That's me. Like, we can't tell you anything about them. I love that. Other than that, I don't really play sports. I really just sit and watch movie all day. Okay. So if God don't help me, like, we won't do no work or nothing. We just sit and watch show and watch movie. But yeah. Other than that, I'm producing or I'm working on some, or I'm writing, or I'm practicing. So other than that, it's just watch movie. Most of the time I watch movie all day.
Okay. Alright, so what's next for David Sutton?
Well, I have a project or two coming up, but I don't want to give too much information.
Alright, but we can look out for it.
We can look out for it. Me and my band, Russian Wind, we are working. We practice every day. We have a practice tomorrow. Wow. So we're practicing and we're recording. And it's gonna be a different sound because these guys, their knowledge of music and their creativity, that's what I love about them. They're so creative. It's just incredible. So I write songs and I just give it to them and we work together and we create something great. So you can expect some awesome, creative, different sounding gospel music coming.
Alright, sounding good, sounding good. So David, it's time for Fun Spark, right?
Fun Spark?
Yes, Fun Spark.
My bad.
Alright, so what I'm going to ask you to do now, I have 5 fruits of the Spirit which I think shines so well through you, and I'm going to challenge you to take each fruit of the Spirit and create a song. Since you are a songwriter, we think you just bad. I know you can do it.
Right.
Are you ready?
Alright.
Alright. Love.
God, you love me, in spite of my flaws. I need more of your heart, 'cause it's more than enough to get through any trial. God, I need your love. God, I need your love.
Woo! Woo! So let's go to the spirit of peace.
There's this old one saying about peace when trouble blows. Jehovah sees, Jehovah knows. Like the bread I need to live, Jehovah takes, Jehovah gives.
Let's talk about the spirit of joy.
You give me joy down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul. You give me joy down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul, down deep in my soul. Yeah.
Joy. Let's talk about the spirit of goodness.
I love you, Lord. How your mercy never fails me. In all my days, I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. Yeah.
Goodness.
Goodness.
And finally, the final spirit that we want to talk about today, the final fruit of the spirit that we want to talk about is faithfulness.
Yeah. Great is thy faithfulness.
Oh, yeah.
My God. Great is thy faithfulness.
Oh, we wish we had a church here.
I wish I had just one witness in here. Morning by morning, your mercies are seen. You know.
We want to thank you so much for sparking with us.
Okay.
It's a pleasure having you. I enjoyed this moment. I enjoyed learning a little bit more about you. So thank you so much for accepting our invitation. And may God continue to bless you, to inspire many of us, because you have truly been an inspiration.
Thank you so much for having me.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like,
Share,
comment, and
subscribe.
make sure you subscribe to Dun-Hamz. Thanks for watching.